Tonight on Q2, is a new high school coming to Billings?
That was the discussion tonight at a joint school board meeting as plans could move forward.
It's very impactful to every school district that we're looking at.
Plus, an exploding population equals a greater need for housing.
We really tried to think about it more as a whole community.
We'll take you to one of Billings' largest subdivisions where 1,000 homes will soon be.
We want to build homes for everyone.
And a sneak peek tour.
You know, there's lots of things in this store that we just haven't seen in the Billings community or in the state of Montana here.
A first look at the new Albertsons set to open this weekend.
The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea Lutz. The Treasure State ranking in the top 10 of the nation for growth in 2022, adding about 17,000 new residents just last year.
Well, with that in mind, a newly formed parent group is pitching the idea of a brand new high school. And as we reported recently, it's gaining a lot of interest.
Tonight, 4 school districts joined together for a meeting further discussing the proposal and what it would take. David J. was there. He has the latest.
Board members and superintendents from 4 school districts met at a Legion school to talk about the possibility of building a new high school. Survey results show good support, and they talked about the challenges and what it's going to take to move forward with the idea. Many parents, like the small elementary and middle schools, want their children to have that closeness with their classmates to continue in high school.
We like being the Elder Grove Outlaws. We love that community, and we kind of have that identity. For my wife and I, that would be something we would be willing to give up and to work towards having that high school.
It's the smaller feel, the same that our kids are getting from our elementary school, we're hoping to take on to that high school. The more personal, small town feel and smaller classroom sizes.
The proposed plan would give students from Elysian, Blue Creek, Canyon Creek, and Elder Grove the chance to attend high school outside of School District 2. They currently either go to West or Senior. Susie Layton and Missy Jones are the co-founders of Southwest Billings Smart Growth, which conducted a survey. Around 600 people from the 4 districts responded.
There seemed to be a unanimous support for what we're working towards. It seems to be that the community from each district, they all kind of have a similar viewpoint.
Anything we can do to operate more efficiently, more cost effectively for the taxpayer.
State law would require the 4 districts to consolidate to have enough students, 1,000 for a new high school. While the survey shows support for combining the 4 districts into one, it still may be a challenge.
The big part will be to educate people and help them to understand why we want to consolidate. It's not because we're trying to take over schools or anything like that. It's because it's required by law.
And now they'll all take the idea to their school boards to find out if they want to go through the process that includes elections, a bond issue, and mill levies.
If you were to say, hey, let's just build a high school out here, people would be great, let's do it. But there's a lot of steps that need to be done first.
It's important really as a community that we think about the future and we plan for the future.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Some big news tonight for the future of healthcare, not only in Billings, but across Montana.
Billings Clinic announced today they hope to merge with Logan Health in Kalispell.
Our Phil Van Pelt has more on what led to that decision and the impact it could have.
There's a lot of questions about what that merger means for the 4,700 employees here at Billings Clinic and what changes might lie ahead.
They're 2 of the state's largest hospital systems, and in the future, Billings Clinic and Logan Health could become one, employing more than 9,000 employees across Montana.
We've got 2 organizations that have the capacity to make a difference in those spaces, and we really need to have some conversations of how we could create more access and quality, and that led to additional discussion.
The 2 signed a letter of intent to explore a merger, with hopes of finalizing a deal come summer. The goal? Improve access to quality care.
There are a significant number, hundreds of patients that are transported out of our state and region every year to receive stroke care. This really helps us to integrate systems and get patients for stroke care in particular to definitive care as soon as possible.
Logan Health employs around 4,400 employees, where Billings Clinic employs around 4,700. But with talks of a merger come concerns about staffing and potential layoffs. Neither hospital is ready to discuss specifics just yet.
We certainly are looking at down the road what efficiencies we can gain by working together, but it's definitely too early. We are early in the process of this.
Billings Clinic has seen a lot of change over the past couple of years, including sizable staffing shortages made worse by COVID. And last year, several members of the hospital's leadership team, including CEO Scott Elner, resigned with little notice.
As I've stepped into the CEO position for the last almost 6 months now, my focus has been to really move the organization forward.
The hospitals say neither will be changing its name, at least not anytime soon. But the change is a big one that will bring even more changes in the months to come.
This is not an acquisition. This is two organizations uniting, and so this is us coming together to care for patients across our geographies.
In Billings, Phil Van Pelt, MTN News.
Today, Senate lawmakers were briefed on the Chinese balloon that flew over Billings exactly 2 weeks ago. That balloon was eventually shot down off the Atlantic coast by the U.S. military. CBS News has learned that U.S. intelligence began tracking the balloon from Hainan Island off the south coast of China last month. It then drifted east towards Guam and Hawaii before heading north over Alaska. Officials say it's possible it was blown off course, but insist that the Chinese still had control over it when it floated south over the rest of America. As for the 3 objects shot down this weekend, the strongest theory from the intelligence community is that the objects were likely harmless research balloons. China continues to insist the balloon was a weather research ship.
Construction is popping up all across Billings. On the southwest side of town, you'll find dozens of homes being built now in the Feld neighborhood. When all is said and done, there's going to be upwards of 1,000 new places to live. As our Casey Conlon tells us, this subdivision will have something for everyone.
Cheers.
AJ and Amy Doherty are living the American dream. Beautiful house, 3 kids, and a golden retriever named Bernard.
Who's a good boy?
It's exactly what they hoped for when they moved from Seattle 3 years ago after discovering Feld.
We took a little trip around the neighborhood and I found love. I thought it reminded me of, how America was in 1954.
It even comes with its own soda shop.
Thomas?
The Maple Moose officially opened Saturday. It's the first shop in Feld's marketplace, and it's already a hit.
Amy stopped by and 2 days ago? She was there 3 times.
Their grand opening.
Yeah, so I mean.
Once in the morning with one daughter, then another afternoon for ice cream with the other, and then a date night with him.
Yeah.
We're like, this is great.
We really tried to think about it more as a whole community.
That's Greg McCall's favorite word. He wants to make Feld self-sustaining, a place that has all of life's necessities, including all kinds of people.
We want to build homes for everyone. Mixed in throughout Feld is people who might be just getting their very first rental, or it might be their very last home that they're downsizing into.
These will be a series of new townhomes, with prices starting around $273,000, almost 50% lower than the average Billings home sales price in 2022. It's those prices that have the city's realtors worried.
We're being pushed out somewhat from what our average wages and salaries are here. We have record numbers of people that are actually living at home with their parents right now. I think the last known time of this was somewhere around the Depression.
Smaller houses on smaller footprints, less land. That's one of the ways that we can get new first-time homebuyers into the marketplace. So Greg's onto something there.
Greg's only concern is that they won't be able to do enough.
We worry about whether or not we will be able to provide enough housing. We know that continues to be a huge issue.
In Billings, Casey Conlon, MTN News.
I wanted to start off by showing you the cold temperatures from first thing this morning. 2 above was the coldest reading here in Billings, 11 below in Livingston. Saw that also in Red Lodge. Our friend John Potter said he had 13 below on his thermometer. How about 20 below in Butte? That was the coldest in the state. You can see some of the other readings, 2 below Sheridan, 1 above in Miles City. The daytime highs were mainly into the teens and 20s. Notice that it was warmer across northern Montana where we didn't get any of that fresh snow. But as we start looking in towards next week, we'll see a warm up to start through the weekend. But check it out, by the time we get to this time next week, there is an 80% chance of colder than average temperatures. Details are coming up.
It's been years in the making, but the new Albertsons is set to open this Saturday on the far west end. That new store will be the 7th here in the Magic City.
Today, our Jackie Coffin got a sneak peek of what those customers can expect.
The new Albertsons in Billings West End is offering options to shoppers in the quickly growing part of town. The grand opening is on Saturday, but we're going on a sneak peek tour.
You know, there's lots of things in this store that we just haven't seen in the Billings community or in the state of Montana here.
Billings' newest grocery store is boasting a lot of fresh ideas.
Nuts on Clark popcorn kiosk.
We make everything in-house every day, fresh.
Local double R ranch beef, dry aged beef, Wagyu beef.
They'll be back there making fresh mozzarella, which is exciting.
The newest location on Grand and 52nd is the 7th Albertsons in Billings. In-store director Chris Harmon is bringing 19 years of experience in Billings Albertsons to the West End store.
Well, as everybody from Billings knows, this community is really growing and the West End's growing rapidly. So there's kind of a food desert, if you will, out in this side of town. So really glad to get something out here.
Donna Mann lives in the neighborhood with her dog Dot and is excited for the store's opening. It will save her a trip to the closest grocery store, also in Albertsons, 3 miles away.
You know, on a snowy day, it's hard to go do those roundabouts and get there, and there's a lot of people that have to shop that one.
Crews broke ground on the new store last February, and Harmon says 200 people were hired within the Billings community to staff it.
We're working on produce today is our big focus. Produce and deli are going in, getting things ramped up and really getting it filled up and looking good.
The store also has a Starbucks, a walk-up and drive-through pharmacy, and drive-up grocery options.
This store particularly is very light and bright and airy. We've got some local touches throughout the store talking about how we love to support our Billings community.
The big opening is Saturday, offering Billings shoppers a new selection of options as the West Side continues to grow.
I can walk out there.
In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news on Q2, this home has $515,000 value, but you could win it for $100. I'll tell you how and take you inside next.
And in sports, from AA to Class C, a former Billings West basketball player now starring for Roberts will document her hoops journey coming up in just a bit.
The MTN 10 o'clock news continues right after this.